Hi guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm creating a Halloween slider pop-up card featuring the Which Way is the Candy stamp set from My Favorite Things. When I was going through my Halloween stash, I found all of these little witches that I had colored either last year or the year before and never used. Do you have anything like that in your Halloween stash? Well, today's card is a great way to use up some of those images. There are several dies that you can use to make a slider pop up like this, but I don't have any of those. So I'm using the measurements that I found on MayMay Made It. Here's her video if you haven't already seen it, and she goes into a lot of detail in her video. What you see here is a template or pattern to help with cutting the slider mechanism. It's just a piece of cardstock measuring 2.5 by 4.5. There's a line drawn vertically down the center and another horizontally at 3/4 inches. Now what we're creating is a sliding window in the center of the mechanism panel with a 3/4 inch border all around. I butted the end with the horizontal line up against the end of the panel. Now I'm tracing a cutting line on the mechanism panel across the short end and from the horizontal line down to the other end on both sides. Next, I'm taking a craft knife and cutting along those lines. Now, to get a clean cut, you'll want to use a lighter pressure and make multiple passes. I tend to be pretty heavy-handed, so this is something that I have to remind myself. Oh, also, you're only going to be cutting on 3 sides. Don't cut the 4th. Now that we've cut the window, we need to do some scoring where it's going to fold up. All of the scores will be from one cut line to the other side. Don't score the whole panel. The first score is going to be at 3/4 inches on the end that we didn't cut. I'm not sure what happened here, but my scoring tool kept wanting to skip a track, I guess. So it took me a few tries just to get this first score line done. My second score is at 2.25, and the last score is at 4 inches. This next piece of cardstock is the slider. It measures 3.25 by 4.5. So what we're going to be doing with it is we're going to be attaching it at the cut end of the mechanism. There are a few things that I'm going to do first. First, I need a place for the recipient to pull the tab, so I'm using my 1-inch circle punch to punch out a half circle at the opposite end. Next, I'm adding some spacers to the back of the mechanism to help it slide more freely. This is totally optional, but I decided to try it since MayMay suggested it in her video. I've also used foam tape for this, but it made it a bit bulky and I had trouble getting cards in a regular A2 envelope. Of course, it's pretty easy to make envelopes, so it's totally up to you which option you want to use. Here's a video that I did using the foam tape. The spacers are just narrow pieces of cardstock. I decided to use the same paper as my mechanism panel, but may use thicker cardstock next time. These strips measure 1/4 inch wide. You'll need 4 that are 5 inches long and 2 that are 4 inches long. Using my art glitter glue, I'm adhering the longer strips along the edge of the panel from the top. This is going along the sides. And this is going to be 2 layers thick of those strips. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the shorter strips at the bottom edge of the panel. Now this is going to create a little dimension for the channel that our slider is going to sit in. Okay, I waited long enough. I just had to test this. I don't think I have much patience. So I'm folding the mechanism at the top score line, creating a valley fold, folding at the second in the opposite direction, creating a mountain fold, and then the third, creating another valley. So to finish creating the mechanism, you just adhere the bottom of your slider panel to that last small section of the mechanism. I'm using some double-sided adhesive. Thankfully, I remembered that I wanted to stamp the slider panel before removing that release paper. I'm adding the little cat and the which way is the candy sentiment to the slider panel in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. When the slider slides up, it'll reveal the panel behind it. So I'm taking a white panel that measures 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. I'll line the slider mechanism up, leaving a tiny mat around the edges, and then I'll lightly sketch on the white panel along the edges of the mechanism. This will show me what space I have to work with. I decided to use that cute little frog and a couple of pumpkins from the set. Then I decided to do some masking. I'm using some full coverage Post-its for this. So I'm stamping the little frog down and then I'll fussy cut around part of him. I always try to cut on the line or slightly smaller when doing masks, but it's been a while, so I'm also trying to lay the mask as close to the inside of the stamp line as I can get. Next, I'm going to go ahead and stamp one of those pumpkins. Now, this is where I realized that I actually wanted the little pumpkin in front of the other images. I told you, it's been a while. So I changed the plan. I'll put him in the back, which means stamping and masking the taller pumpkin first before stamping the little one. And now I can stamp the little pumpkin. Now, I think that the best part of masking, of course, is the reveal. So let's take a look. Now, aren't these guys just too cute? And now I'll add another sentiment. Now, I love how they look, but to be honest, they really needed something. I had no intention of adding coloring to this video, but I really could not leave these little guys without some color. So I'll be using my Spectrum Noir markers. For the frog, I'm using LG1 for the lightest, LG3 for the darkest, and LG2 to blend them out. For the stems on the pumpkins, I'm using MB4 and MB2. And then for the pumpkins, I'm using OR1, OR2, and OR3. And since I colored these, I just couldn't leave the kitty without some color. So I'll start off with the little bow in OR1 and OR2. And for the kitty, I colored him up with GG1, GG2, GG3, and GG4. I started off with GG1, the lightest color, and got progressively darker because he's a black cat and you need different shades of gray for black. For his little nose and the inside of his ears, I'm using CR1 and a colorless blender. Now that all the coloring is done, we can start putting this together. First, I'll center and adhere the slider panel to the bottom of the mechanism using that double-sided tape that I added earlier and adding some art glitter glue. Then I have to test it out and it slides perfect. Next, I'll adhere the mechanism to the panel that I stamped and colored. I'm adding some double-sided tape along those stabilizers that I had added to the back of the mechanism. I'm not adding adhesive to the top edge of the mechanism. Adhering it here would prevent the slider from working. I'm also removing only part of the release paper on the tape and creating some handles. Then I'm adding some art glitter glue to the exposed adhesive. This is so that I can get perfect positioning on the panel. Now that the panel's in place, I can pull on the release paper handles to expose the rest of the adhesive. This looks great so far, but I think it needs a black mat. So I trimmed the panel down, creating a slightly smaller mat that I can put an A2 size black panel behind. Next, I decided to add a more substantial pull to the slider. I'm punching out 2 circles using my 1-inch circle punch out of black cardstock. Then I'll glue one to the front of the slider panel and one to the back. Of course, the circle on the back keeps getting caught on the back panel, so I punched a space for it to sit. Now to decorate the pop-up. The little witch looks like she's just floating there, which is fine, but I decided to give her some grass to stand on. I'm using a scrap of dark green cardstock and running it through my Gemini Junior using a stitched hillside border die from Lawn Fawn. I trimmed the grass down to 2.5 inches to fit on the front of the mechanism and then glued it down with art glitter glue. Next, I adhered the little witch to the panel. I made sure to only add adhesive to the lower part of her body and not to go above that fold on the mechanism. She looks a bit lonely standing there all by herself, so I'll give her a batty friend to hang out with. I'm cutting a scrap piece of acetate down to about a 1/4 inch wide and then adhering the bat to the end of it with some double-sided tape. And then I'll adhere the other end of that piece of acetate behind the witch. Now that the whole mechanism is working great, I'll adhere it to the front of an A2 size card base. I decided to add some of those cute characters to the inside of the card too, this time using some Catherine Pooler inks. That finishes up this card for today. I hope that you are inspired to get going on your Halloween crafting, and I would love to see what you create. So come join my Facebook group, Crafting with Debbie, and show us your creations. I've left a link in the description box down below. Oh, and if you make anything using ideas from one of my Halloween videos, please post a picture and tag me at hashtag Debbie J's Crafting Corner and at hashtag DJCC Halloween 2020. You can also see all of my Halloween videos for 2020 by clicking on the hashtag DJCC Halloween 2020 down in the video title. Here are some other videos that you may be interested in. Thank you so much for dropping by, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.